Today I want to talk about why it's better to save time than it is to save money. Hey guys, welcome back to Tipharot. It's me Matt here, and today I'm talking about why you should value your time. You see, a lot of people don't value their time enough. This is something that I've observed a lot. I study a lot of successful people. I believe that if you want to be successful, you should study people who are successful and learn from them. So I've read books on success, I've read accounts from people who are wealthy and who are successful, who've run multiple businesses and so on. And one thing that I've seen as a constant thread between all of these different successful people is the fact that they value their time a lot. You see, this is a big difference from someone who wants to actually be successful and so on, but never succeeds, and someone who actually does succeed. And I've noticed this time and time again. I also notice this with people who are very unsuccessful, is that they do the opposite. So that is that they value time and money in different ways. So what does the unsuccessful person do? Well, the unsuccessful person values money too much. They don't value their time enough. So, for example, I can't remember where I read this. I think this was in a particular book or something, or someone said this. I can't remember where I got this from, but the idea was that some person who wants to save money, who wants to actually have more money, will try to, for example, save money on getting their whole garden done. Maybe they have this big garden and they don't want to hire a gardener to do it because it might cost them, $10 an hour or something like that. So they spend 5 hours doing it. So they spend 5 hours to save $50. But they actually earn, say, $30 an hour at their job. So they earn $30 for an hour of work. So in that 5 hours, they could have earned themselves $150. So they didn't really save themselves $50. They actually lost themselves $100 because they could have earned $150 in that time, and they only saved, $50. So this is the way that you should approach your time and your money, rather than seeing it as, oh, I'm going to save, a few dollars here by doing this myself and doing that myself and so on. You should look at actually the consequence of losing that time. Because could you not invest that time into what it is that you want to do to be successful? Could you not invest that time into your business, into making money, into doing overtime at your job or something to get a bit more extra cash? Because a lot of the time the answer is yes, you could be doing that, but you're not. You're wasting that time, and so you feel that because you're wasting that time already, you should just use it to save money. Rather than doing that, you should just look at not wasting that time in the first place and putting it to something productive, something that's actually going to increase your income and increase your success. The next aspect of valuing your time is actually budgeting your time properly. If you're not using a to-do list app or some form of calendar or something, then you're not being as productive as you could be. We waste time, we procrastinate, it just happens, it's human nature. If you don't have some form of organisation about your day-to-day life and your day-to-day routine, you are going to waste endless amounts of time. So install Todoist or some other to-do list application on your computer, on your phone, whatever. Set up, daily routines and so on. Use Google Calendar, use stuff like that, and ensure that you actually have a system for being productive. A system for ensuring you get all your daily chores and rituals and so on done, and a system for getting your work done each day, and a system for having extra time set aside to work on, personal projects. Make sure that your time is well organised. Another thing you should do if you value your time is get the hardest, most difficult and longest things out of the way first, because you never know when something is going to come up. You may find that you get called out to a meeting at work, or you get a family emergency or something, and you just don't have time to do these things later in the day. So if you've already got the hardest stuff out of the way first, you at least have less to actually catch up with when you're back from your emergency. I try to do this all the time. Like today, I'm recording videos today, so I started with the video that I thought was going to be the longest, and I'm slowly working down all the way back to the video that's going to be the shortest and take the least time to record. I do the same when I'm editing. I start with the longest recorded video and I work backwards to the shortest one. I do the same with thumbnails. I start with the one that's going to be the most complicated. I do the same with tags, titles and descriptions. I start with the one that's going to be the hardest. I always start with the most difficult thing so I can get it out of the way, so that if something does come up, I'm not screwed because I don't have that long thing left to work on. And the next thing, and this is if you really want to focus on success, whether you're building a business, growing a YouTube channel, writing a book, whatever it is to not get caught up in dedicating too much time to free time. Now it's important to have some rest and some play and some enjoyment. We all do. I like to relax and enjoy myself too. But you have to, be careful with it. Just because you're perhaps not working or not at school during certain hours doesn't mean that you should spend all of that time relaxing. You should dedicate some time each day to being productive. It can be ways of being productive for yourself, like meditation, like exercise. That stuff is important, getting the right nutrition as well, getting the right amount of sleep. But you should also dedicate some time to other things, like work projects. If you're at school, then dedicate some time each day to actually studying. Go the extra mile, because we all know that the education system in most countries is not that great. And if you're just relying on what you learn in class, you're probably going to miss a lot of the stuff that you're taught. Do some extra learning of your own accord, because it's going to help you in the long run. And spend time on other things, even if you're at school or something like that. If you fancy writing a book or doing something, creative, or, coming up with business ideas, then do that. Dedicate, say, half an hour or an hour each day to actually work on that. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you did, remember to subscribe up there for more. Also, check out my Patreon page if you're interested in supporting the channel. It means a lot. Thank you guys for watching. Take care.